Hey everyone, welcome back to the IWEP Network, or if it's your first time, welcome hanging out with us. Thank you so much for choosing this podcast, and feedback is always welcome. So make sure to check the links below for all social media links, audio and video versions of this show, and merch. We look forward to hearing from you and hearing that feedback, and enjoy the show.
Oh, man. Hey, everybody. This is Truth Behind Illusion podcast. We are back for the Patreon episode 3 as I elbow fight my wife, who is...
Patron.
You know, we never said the entire time in the last episode that this is your, debut to Truth Behind Illusion. We didn't even bring it up.
Yay.
Yeah, it is bitches here now.
Wait, were you on the Gettysburg one?
No.
Oh.
No, this is her debut.
That was
Rish.
Born.
That was her debut.
No, I just thought because there was a bunch of people that you were on.
I mean, she was there that day.
Yeah, she chilled with all
but
of
in
them.
the room with it? No, I know you were on the trip.
No, I was
I meant
upstairs.
oh, okay.
I was
Yeah.
watching from upstairs.
Gotcha.
She's upstairs naked. That's Heidi's thing. Now she's not
probably
naked.
was.
Now she's not naked during the podcast. She
Watching
keeps her
upstairs.
clothes on. Yeah.
From
She
I
goes
have
upstairs,
to
gets
keep my
naked, and goes to
clothes on.
sleep.
From a hangar.
Yeah, that's what Heidi's MO is. When she's upstairs, she's not wearing clothes.
Below sea level.
Whatever you want to do. It's a free
That's
world.
just- that's her
it's a
life.
house.
My house.
So don't
That's
sneak
right.
in
Right,
while they're
do not
recording in the
sneak
kitchen
in.
and go
Yeah,
upstairs.
True story almost happened. So when Nikolai took a break from the show for a while, he snuck in while we were recording an episode and then went upstairs
To
to talk
drop
to
off
Heidi
Christmas presents.
to drop off Christmas presents. And Heidi is upstairs in her birthday suit, and Nikolai is
no.
throwing stuff at the door.
No, that was Kev.
to
I
mess
didn't
with
throw
her.
anything.
They were in the hallway and
She-
he's like going nuts, and I thought it was him because he just does stuff to
So
make
she
fun.
almost gave everybody a show.
Aw,
Yeah,
To be fair, we did ring
that's
the
so
doorbell.
upsetting.
No one answered.
yeah. The doorbell doesn't work.
To be honest, I don't think it would have been the first time that Nikolai had seen my boobs.
No.
Nah.
No, the
Nah.
only time I could remember that being possible, and it didn't happen, is because my brother won beer pong
Uh-huh.
while we were at Dave's house, but I wasn't a part of that part.
Oh, you flashed
I
that
would-
during beer pong.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you guys were in the room.
Anthony,
We lost.
no, Anthony got to.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and I was
Anthony.
on the wrong side of the team because I was her partner, and you were.
Oh
with the
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I just remember Anthony going,
It was the most awkward thing ever.
and they just well, Heidi used to have her nipples pierced back in the day.
I don't think they had them at that point.
No, hold on. And she just had them done, and this is the time that Heidi would have a sip of alcoholic beverage and just turn into like party girl. And she had a few drinks, and we leave the Black Diamond bar
Oh, yeah.
with a friend who we unfortunately just lost, Shauna. She was really good friends of
Aw.
us,
She lived like
and she
right,
lived like a
like
couple
3
doors
doors
down. So, and Shauna brought like the Cardi B out of Heidi. She they would party and
Cardi.
drink, and they would just they would turn up, and Shauna was fun. But you know, so they come out of the bar, and I'm like, yo, and they're coming out, and I think at the time, I think Shauna just had her surgery, so she had
Oh,
her.
way before.
Was it?
Yeah.
Oh, but so Shauna has her enhanced boobs, and she has her pierced ones,
Anyway, I flashed this
and she's
camera.
she's flashing just in the street. And I said, she's joking that she's going to flash in the middle of the street. She's like,
Uh-huh.
I'm in the middle of the street. I'll just flash. I'm like, yo, they
But
just
I
put a
did that.
camera on that red light that goes to like the service electric. You know how you, like,
Oh,
you
yeah.
know how they have the
That
camera?
channel.
That
I
channel?
watched at my friend's house. And
Yeah.
like, let's see what's happening in 5 points in Tamaqua.
Yeah, so they
Yeah.
have there's a
Definitely
camera.
local.
I don't know if it still does it for Fractal, but it's on the channel. And
Uh-huh.
Heidi goes, "Where? On that one?" She goes, "Yeah." And boom, Heidi just so some 97-year-old guy who watches the street lights.
I
of
used to think-
Fractal.
Because the Wired Teleview had that.
Yeah.
When I was at my friend's house, we were like, who fucking watches this?
Well, if they did that
There was
night,
like one
they
in
got to see-
Shenandoah, in Tamaqua. I think there's one in maybe like
How do you even
Jim
watch?
Thorpe. It was
It was on a
it's black and
channel.
white, and it's
I
like
hope
Yeah.
you can't go
there's a
past
main
the
feed,
whole
right? And then there's like 4 other feeds, and it's just
Oh.
traffic.
It was
Yeah.
entertaining.
Oh.
So
Traffic.
if you tuned into that night, you got to see 2 sets of biracial boobies that night.
Oh, there you go.
Half white, half Asian, half
What-
white,
what-
half black.
Why we gotta bring race into this?
But they were. It was a good night.
Tits
It
are
was-
tits.
Tits are the bigger the better, as
Yep,
you said before
Bigger
we
the
started
better. Write
recording.
that one down. That written down.
Stone.
Feel offended.
So Alex, how you doing?
Feel
That?
offended. by
Patreon, baby.
What's your take on boobs? Are bigger the better, or you don't care?
I mean, personally, bigger is better.
Make it rain, baby. I see the money coming off that shirt.
That's right. I'm the
Like,
rainmaker.
like some guy said. Oh, how'd it go? He's like, they don't have to be big, just has to be some.
Listen,
There you go.
my take. You could be flat chested. I just need some thighs. I'm a thigh butt guy.
Hey, whatever you like.
Yeah, be stacked from the waist down. A top. I want a wife. I want a girl built like Mrs. Fantastic or Mrs. Incredible.
This is incredible.
Oh, I was like,
Oh, Miss Incredible.
Miss
Yeah.
Incredible. She's stacked.
felt like Miss Fantastic, invisible.
Yeah, invisible. That's how most of my girlfriends were before I met Heidi. Invisible. Anyway.
So disrespectful.
No, I'm just saying I didn't have many girls. They were invisible.
That's
Yeah.
not true.
Any girlfriend.
Girlfriends. I just didn't keep them around very long.
Some of you didn't even
I
keep
mean,
long enough for the car ride home.
So good for height, like good
Very
for
true.
Heidi, but like disrespectful to women.
I wasn't a good person back in the day. Cancel culture, come at me, bro. I'm a millennial. Anyway.
We're not gonna tell that story though.
No, we're not.
No, no,
We're
no.
not.
Maybe
We're not
another day.
gonna do that.
I'm not enough beers in. So yeah, this is a Patreon episode. Alex, do you have
You're welcome.
any weekly or since the last time we talked, anything you've seen on the internet wise that supernatural, paranormal, anything interesting, or have you watched anything or documentaries or
I don't know if it's paranormal, but the first thing that comes to mind is I posted something about a space hurricane.
Yeah, I seen that.
yeah.
What? I'm gonna admit I didn't read the article, but I'm just like,
No, fuck that. That takes that's what it takes time.
sounds pretty cool. Hurricane.
Yeah.
in space.
It rained electrons and not water.
All
That's what
right.
the article. I read the article.
What do
It said
those
it-
things do?
Give us powers.
That's what I'm saying. Can we
Wait,
just
what
fucking
are we?
become?
Is the one at the North Pole?
No, it was just like it was a space hurricane above our planet, and instead of water, it rained electrons, which I don't even know.
Because they were talking on the news the other day about
My
some,
dumb brain can't even wrap my
gas-
head around what that even looks like.
gas thing. I don't know if it was gas or
It's too
something
small.
like, above the North Pole.
Oh,
And
not.
then there's like some big giant asteroid that's like flying past Earth.
There
Oh,
was a
wow.
cigar
Three things in
shaped
one.
And a
cigar-shaped.
zombie apocalypse from the CDC. That was all in like a 5-minute conversation on the radio the other day.
Maybe
Yeah.
that's why this week has been crazy.
There was a cigar-shaped object spotted flying over some Air Force base,
Mhm.
and they pretty much came out and said like, "Yeah, we have no idea what that
Yeah, it
was."
was Bill Clinton.
Well, that's interesting though because a few
we
months
sending
ago
him
they
to
said there
space or
was like
what?
a cigar-shaped object somewhere like in the solar system.
Oh wow!
Real quick,
About that.
Yeah.
he said Bill Clinton.
Yeah, that's a
And-
deep.
and-
that's a deep
And,
cut.
and Bree's innocent brain was like, I don't get it.
Aw.
Here it comes. I took.
I'm
the,
sorry.
I took the cigar. I took the cigar and I inserted it in her vagina, and then I pulled it out, put it in my mouth, and said, "Tastes good."
Yeah, Bill Clinton
That's an
inserted,
actual quote,
he inserted a cigar into
and
it
that
and
is in the
turns
Bill Clinton book.
vagina.
Oh, I didn't know he did that.
Yeah, it's what's her name? Monica.
I know
I
he.
didn't know that was the reference to the cigar. I
Tastes
did not
good.
know
I've
that,
never
but it
heard that
sounds
quote.
disgusting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's such a piece
I've
of
heard
shit.
all the others, but wow.
God, he's awful.
Also,
That's
he
what I
probably
remember
got
from
a
his
yeast
presidency.
infection from that, so-
Yeah, I couldn't tell you anything about politics. I know he banged 2 girls though.
When you listen to Howard
Fucking
Stern
hate
all the time,
him.
that's the kind of stuff you know.
Yeah, yeah. That's our Howard Stern
Yeah.
knowledge.
God, he's awful.
So during the regular episode, we talked about the Cecil Hotel.
Yeah, dude. That I know about the chick in the water tank. I don't know much else.
What is your theories?
A
on
lot
it?
of deaths there over the years. It was
Tons.
built in the
Wow.
20s.
I mean,
Some up-
I
some
yeah, I
guys
really don't
murdered.
know.
lot.
With her, it seems very supernatural in a sense, but
Murder or suicide?
I would assume murder. It's got to be.
Oh, he's on the team murder.
That's what I would think.
Yeah.
Are we all going around and
Yeah, are we
sharing?
going around?
I
Oh,
think
yeah.
we should.
That's what we were
Go
doing,
ahead. We forgot to do that during the episode.
Yeah, I
You
know.
said to
I was
save it, though.
waiting.
We were
Yeah.
talking,
So what do you think?
So I think this is what I think. I'm going to go into a little detail. So I definitely think her, which is really sad, her mental health definitely was playing a role. And because her mental health was playing a role in it, I think she wasn't clear-minded. And because she was like threatening people, saying like some not so great things to people, maybe she was getting like annoyed with, or she was annoying others, or maybe some scummy people thought they could take advantage of her and did. And they ended up killing her and then dumping her. So I think it was like a mixture, which is really unfortunate.
I don't want to bring race into it, but I will say this too.
You're right. She's Canadian. She should.
Yeah.
Being Canadian, no, being honestly, like, I know we talk a lot about race and different cultures that get it really bad. They do.
Mhm.
Every culture gets it bad. And
Yeah.
I'm not here to play suffrage
Who has it
Olympics.
worse,
You know what I mean? But Asian women in our country have not had a good rap sheet when it comes to being taken advantage of, especially
Right.
if they're very small,
Yes.
if they have an accent, if they don't really like, you know what I mean, or anything like that. So I'm not rolling it out. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. That makes sense too. They probably saw how vulnerable she was with the mental health,
Mhm.
plus what you just said with her culture, plus her being a younger girl by herself with nobody with her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think they could
Being
they could see
essentially- she's a tourist, basically.
Hmm.
absolutely. Plus the neighborhood, So, but I do kind of think actually not kind of. I think a hotel employee was involved in this because of needing a key to get up there. And I think it had to be somebody who was like probably a little bit stronger with like being able to throw her into a water tower. That's just my thoughts.
Yeah.
I agree. I think she's murdered.
You're on
I think
team
it was
murder.
Yeah, I
It
think
would
it
be
was
hard to
somebody who
climb a
worked with her.
ladder and hold a person, even a small person.
I think at her most she was 150.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
still,
Yeah, she was
to put someone on your
tiny.
shoulders and climb a ladder.
Yeah,
I don't care if it's a little tiny person. It's hard.
it's
Yeah.
very
I
hard.
don't know. I think it just sounds sketchy. With
I
the
think I
arm
lean
thing,
I
think
lean
it
to
was-
suicide.
I think it's a
Accidental
worker.
suicide.
I think maybe she was manic and all this other stuff, and somebody was like, "Oh, I'm going to take advantage of this girl and do
Mhm.
whatever."
Yep, that's what
My
I
theory.
think.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Nikolai.
It's tough because, like, I don't know. I have a weird feeling that, like, not necessarily someone killed her, but she had help in a way that, like, it's a seedy place. She could have very easily paid someone to be like, "Hey, I'm freaking out. I got to get on the roof or whatever," and they're like, "Yeah, shit, whatever," And then she climbed in on her own or whatever the case may be. I don't necessarily think somebody killed her and then shoved her in there because she was naked. That's the part that throws me. I feel like unless she was raped first, which
I believe she probably was.
but the coroner's report says no sign of
right.
Okay, so here's my thing on the coroner's report.
Hmm.
I didn't read a lot, but from what they were saying, they just sounded, for the time period that this happened, I feel like they should have been able to come up with more. And they were real sketchy about it. And
I mean,
like,
they got it down
we
to her blood
couldn't."
alcohol level at a 0.02.
Yeah,
And
but I
they
just
and they
feel
and they
like it's
attributed her
sketchy.
medication levels. So I think they did a pretty thorough job.
I don't know. It feels sketchy to me, and the fact that they kept pushing that she took the fire escape, but there weren't fingerprints.
Hmm.
If you think that
She's also a foreigner. So if you're someone from another country who dies on
You still have 4 fingerprints.
you have fingerprints,
Yeah, you can find
What
it.
is that? What's
The
Forensics?
database, FBI,
Forensics.
the? Yeah, but Interpol.
Interpol. Yes.
But like, I just
Yeah, but will
it
that
just
work
sounds
if she
sketchy.
was never in the system?
Well, I mean, they could have
but
dusted
she
the
should-
the fireplace and then
And
her
dusted
body.
all of
I
her
mean, yeah, they would've
belongings
been
were
I mean,
taken out.
but
and realistically they might have. But we just don't know that part of the
Right.
investigation.
That's true.
But too, like with the fingerprints, if it was in an area that was easy to get to that window, so many people could have
Right.
touched it.
Yeah.
The fingerprint could have been mixed and matched,
Yeah.
That's true.
upon things. So even if they were to dust it and get a print, it might not be her.
I just
And
feel
you
like
have-
the clothes
You have
thing
700 rooms
sketchy.
with people
Yeah.
still
Right.
using the hotel, and
Right.
then
And
you
maids.
flood it full of cops and dogs. And,
Right.
And for all we know, like maybe somebody was on the roof already, and she took the
Mhm.
fire escape and ran into this seedy person. And
Maybe.
whatever,
and it
but
happened.
I just think somebody killed her. Like either I'm kind of leaning towards employee because I feel like
Mhm.
with the whole alarm thing, I don't think she took the fire escape.
Mm-mm.
That just seems like too much.
What about the dog sniffing? The sniffing dog.
I don't know, maybe, but
Now you're not trusting dogs?
I do, but
Jesus,
like
Heidi.
you said
Okay.
before, like I feel like that's too easy.
Let's
It
say
is.
it was someone, right? How easy is it for you to go from that roof, take your clothes, and rub it on the window,
That's, yeah.
Yeah.
They
and then
could
put
have
it
done
back in
that.
the tank?
And like, which room was it that they found?
She
the
was
window?
on the 5th floor.
No, I mean like the window. Is that where the dog was?
Yeah.
In her room? Or
No,
was it a
no.
different room?
The window the window she escaped was out of a hallway window.
Oh, okay. So like
On the 5th floor.
Yes.
I
And
don't
she
know.
went up 10 flights.
Something like
yeah,
that.
like in a
Outside.
manic state.
I
That just
don't-
seems
That
weird
seems
to me.
Outrageous.
I don't think
Her room,
that's
I think her room was
accurate.
507, I believe, if I'm not mistaken.
I just don't think
I could
that's
see- I would
accurate.
believe
Not in
she
that
took
state.
the elevator up there, but to
Not in
make a
that state.
fire
It just seems
escape,
weird
10
to me,
floors.
yeah.
That's
Well, she was hitting the elevator buttons.
Right.
But the door wasn't closing because she hit every button.
I
yeah.
don't know. And the whole like with her clothes being off, I get the whole like
Mm.
water hypothermia thing, but it just seems sketchy to me. Like I feel like something else happened. And there's been plenty of cases where people are like all their clothes are off, but they don't physically like rape them. They do other things to them.
Yeah.
So, like
Mhm.
it
And
just
also,
seems weird to me.
yes, I agree. And I do believe rape kits have to be done within a certain time frame, or it doesn't look like
And you're not
somebody
allowed to
got
shower
raped.
because
Well,
water
you can
washes
still see
away.
like
Yes.
tearing and stuff. Like
Yeah.
there is things you can see
Yeah.
without DNA.
Unless he wasn't rough or
Right.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Would
you know.
would the water have affected any of that?
I think
Yes,
so.
Yeah, 'cause
yeah.
you're not supposed to shower after.
Right, you
And
can't shower.
I mean, you put
and-
anything in water for 7 days, you're
That's
gonna
what
be
I
you're
mean.
gonna be
Right.
waterlogged. They said her body was greenish. So
That's what I mean too. Like, how can they be? They were so like sure nothing happened, and I feel like
and
if
also
Yeah.
they want to close the case. She's a
Right.
foreigner. They don't want because when foreign relations get involved,
Mhm.
you just want to close the case as much as quick
Yeah.
possible. Yeah, there's
I just-
I can be sweet either way.
and the
You
other
know what I
thing,
mean?
like with
Yeah.
the workers, I feel like with all the things that have happened in the hotel, the location, I feel like the workers might not be the highest
Caliber.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like, there's probably some seedy people working there too because
If you're a
they
drug
can't
dealer,
get
that is
anybody
the
else to
greatest
work
place
there,
to work
right.
in the world.
so like they probably
Mhm.
also have how many serial killers? It's like
Yeah, two.
jackpot for them.
Yeah.
So like
Yeah, two.
And only 2
Well, I
were
mean, like,
discovered.
workers,
How
like,
many
right.
undiscovered?
I mean, like
Yeah.
workers, it's like a jackpot. You got tons of
Mhm.
people you could just kill, and no one's gonna say, "Oh, where's this person?" Except for this one. Like,
Mm.
I don't know. I feel like it would probably be easy to just kill people.
And it seems weird that a lot of like the suicides
Someone farted or was that lady
They're-
snoring?
The lady snoring.
are jumping. Like if there is these seedy employees, you know, they could find someone who's drugged out of their mind,
Yeah,
take them up, toss them,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
and I mean,
that's they did in MK Ultra times.
yeah,
The
Mhm.
government's own documents said the best way to cover up a death is throw them from a high place.
Oh my God. That's
because
so
because you
awful.
can't find the autopsy won't show shit because if you strangle them or do anything, they'll just be like, oh, it was from the fall damage.
Oh my God. That's sick.
Yeah, they legit drugged a guy and then threw him out a window.
I can't believe that.
Our
That's, just,
government, like
that's sick.
MK Ultra.
I do
So
feel
sick.
like we'll get close to a point where that's impossible. They're
Hmm.
gonna computer
Hmm.
find a way in computer
Yeah.
technology to be like we can reconstruct it to the point that we can. See
Yeah, but
every little
whoever
They
holds,
already are
whoever
able
holds
to
the
do
key
so
is gonna
much,
is
yeah.
gonna figure that out too. You can literally get the best blood analysts in the world right now and get the 2 top ones of their craft and say, your blood analyst is on my defense team. So your job is to find out that this person's guilty, and your job is to find out this person's innocent, and they can get the same data
Sure, but
and
they're
use
also
that
being
information.
paid. They want to win.
Exactly.
Mhm.
That's why our justice system fucked.
Mm-hmm.
If it was an outside party, it had nothing to do with it.
Great example. If you want to watch a good documentary, watch The Staircase. It's about this woman who was either killed or fell down the stairs, and they literally took the same blood splatter analyst and the same blood splatter everything, 2 different people, and got 2 different complete results on what happened on that crime scene.
That's insane.
Mm.
And it's
Cool.
a true story.
Uh-huh.
So then what happened?
You have to watch the documentary.
Oh,
Did this guy go to jail his whole life, or was he found innocent?
that's what I want to know.
They're gonna make
Only
a
went
movie
to
on it
jail
soon.
for his whole life.
Just type
Oh, they're
in-
gonna make a
Type
movie.
into Google. What happened?
I'll wait
at
for
the end
that.
of it.
Please give me the summary.
I think he was found not guilty, but I think at first, like the public perception was he was.
So his career is ruined, or his life.
Pretty much for the most part.
Like this
Yeah.
poor
Yeah.
death metal guy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
poor Morbid.
Oh,
I feel
what's-
bad for
What's your
him.
take on this?
I think someone probably killed her.
You have murder as well. Yeah, I can go either way. I'm leaning towards suicide just because it's a lot to put something on somebody. Obviously, we'll never like how many unsolved murders have been committed
Yeah.
at this hotel. But just to go into the first story of the night.
Wait, did you say?
Yeah, he said murder.
Oh, okay.
He said
No,
Oh.
I was more on the suicide
Yeah.
part, but had help.
Yes.
Murder.
I believe it was murder.
Well, unfortunately, this is just one of tragic cases that happened at the Cecil Hotel. One of the youngest victims of the Cecil Hotel was killed in September 1944, and it's one of the most tragic cases in the hotel's history. A 19-year-old mother, Dorothy Jean Purcell, didn't know she was pregnant and woke up in the middle of the night with
Mhm.
stomach pains next to her 38-year-old partner. Not wanting to wake the shoe
thirty-eight.
sale.
19.
Yeah.
That's a little.
That's gross.
Not
Okay.
wanting to
Yeah.
wake the shoe
But
salesman.
wait a minute. How did she
Definitely
not know
gross.
she was pregnant?
Oh, it's possible.
hmm
Yeah, but like,
Was she a big girl?
No, it's
That's what I'm saying.
possible. Some people don't
mean-
gain
I
a lot
mean-
of weight.
I mean, if you're
for 9 months though.
No,
Yeah.
legit happens.
Some
Like
people,
people don't know they're
some people
pregnant.
give birth before 9 months.
Yeah.
But like, you would think that not necessarily just in weight, but there would be signs of like physical or like on the inside,
Yeah.
like getting sick or any of that kind of stuff that would.
Some people don't get sick.
Yeah.
Like it happened. It's not like uncommon. Like people.
I've heard stories where a woman goes to the bathroom and goes to think
Yeah,
she's
and
going
the
to take
baby
a
pops
shit
out.
and a baby's in the toilet.
because they don't
And she's
like.
still flush.
Some people don't gain weight. They don't. It's crazy, but it happens.
Wow.
So
It
not-
gets even crazier.
yeah,
So-
not willing, not wanting. Yeah, if you can see where this.
Also,
is going.
I'm confused that she didn't. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah.
Before I say.
Not wanting to wake the shoe salesman, Ben Levine.
Al
Al Bundy.
Yeah. She reportedly went to the bathroom and delivered the baby herself.
And
Oh
nobody
my
heard this
God.
noise. Like it just was not painful.
Well,
at all?
I'm assuming. Oh, that part. I was like, I'm assuming.
Once
because of the
again-
next part of the story.
Once
baby did
again,
not
you're in the
cry.
Cecil Hotel with a bunch of drug dealers. I mean, anyway,
Also, where had she cut the umbilical cord?
Was
They're
the-
just bathrooms laying.
just fucking
Scissors in the
Razor
bathroom.
blade off
Chew
The dirty
from the
razor
last
blade
guy.
from
maybe it wasn't so dirty back then yet.
believing the baby was stillborn, she threw the newborn baby out a high window.
Why?
Yeah, why would you throw?
Why
I can see maybe you threw them in the garbage can, but out the window.
I
Jesus.
can't believe that. You have to
Why would
pat
you
the
leave it in
baby.
the garbage can in the bathroom?
Oh my god.
It's a little
Oh
more.
my god.
Put it in the
Understandable.
garbage bag and then throw the garbage bag out the window.
I mean, in
Throw
this
the baby
scenario,
out
we're
the window?
throwing baby away. So
Yeah.
like,
Oh my god.
Rather than telling the men she was with, the lifeless baby was found on the rooftop of an adjacent building. The LA Times wrote,
How far did she throw it? She like fucking.
You just got an arm, dude.
yeah.
Oh my
Fucking-
god.
this is Joe Montana of her time.
Like Blade when he throws like girl
But not
out the
in a
window.
good way.
Yeah.
And how far up
Joe
was she?
Montana
Did it
had
say?
talent.
It doesn't say no.
That baby might just exploded when it hit the
Holy
ground.
sh-
Yeah.
That's awful.
LA Times wrote the county autopsy surgeon Frank Webb, however, declared the baby was born alive with lungs having filled with air. I mean, it's also, let me go back real quick.
Who knows? Who knows?
1944.
Yeah.
Let's see. I don't know how accurate his fucking,
Yeah.
anyway. They're like,
I mean, there's a
lock this
lot
baby.
of. That's not really that long ago.
yeah.
Mm-mm.
Yeah,
Like the
for-
40s?
For technology.
You know, our grandparents were born in the 40s.
Yeah. How much has
Not
medical
that.
technology changed over
Yeah,
the
but it was also pretty like impressive then too.
also they want to find a lot of cases want to find their person guilty and get them done right away. So like, I found air in the lungs once
Yeah.
again.
I feel like that's not a hard.
Jean was eventually arrested, but at her trial, she was found not guilty of murder by reason of insanity. Psychologists determined she was mentally confused, and she admitted that she was admitted to a hospital for psychiatric treatment.
She's basically a child.
Yeah, and realistically, she probably was put in my psychiatric treatment, then released a few years later, and then now lives on Skid Row.
Yep, I was just
Um,
thinking that.
Yeah. So, and plus, back in the 40s, a lot of women weren't tried for murders or stuff like that because they didn't want to put the perception out that women are strong enough to do such things.
Because we're so weak.
Pretty much.
I hate that.
I'm not agreeing with it. I'm just
She
saying.
clearly wasn't so weak if she made it to the next
Clearly,
building.
she threw. She lost that baby.
Oh my god.
And she has a
that's
baby
awful.
with no pain
Yeah.
Yeah.
or anything.
I mean, maybe there was.
Maybe she was
People
drugged
just
up.
didn't hear it.
Yeah.
She could have been.
Could have
She
been.
found an old needle that was in the bathroom drawer, shot it up, took the razor
Yeah.
blade,
Use
Oh
the
my
dirty razor.
god.
threw it out the window.
You never know. A lot of crazy things.
Awful. I can't even believe that.
So we're gonna go to a different story.
Yes, please move on because that's just like really.
No pressure, Alex. You said you have a personal story you want to tell.
When he threw a baby out a window.
Yeah, I mean, you said like a ghost
Yeah,
story
window.
or something. So, when I was a kid, we lived in Reading. We
Oh, me
lived.
too.
That's already
Really?
terrifying. Yeah.
It is. So this was like maybe 1991.
What part of Reading did you live in?
Yeah, where'd you live?
I lived in 1143 North 9th Street, right across from the fire department.
Nice street.
No?
No, Fifth Street. I'm trying to go up.
Well, it's right
I
next
lived
to
in
it's right
Hensley.
down from Reverb, where Atomic.
Oh,
Oh,
okay.
reverb.
Yeah, it's literally
Okay,
2
I live
blocks
on
down.
10th Street.
Yeah.
How do you think she lived on 10th?
I can't remember now.
Not the best.
Oh yeah.
I think it was like 1217 North 10th Street or something.
Yeah. Not the worst of areas.
How old are you?
How old am I? I'm 30
Undisclosed.
something.
Undisclosed.
Maybe you guys went to, maybe you guys went
I'm
to
either
school together.
32 or
Didn't even know.
33.
To a private school. so
Oh,
probably
never mind.
not.
She went to private school. She was fancy.
Okay.
was
I went
privileged.
to 12th and
I
Marion
wouldn't
when I
say
lived there.
privileged.
So we lived directly across from the fire department. My grandmother grew up in the house next door, which is 1144.
Is this the grandmother that currently still lives with you?
It is.
Okay.
Um,
Good old Jackie, the savage
good
granny.
old fucking Jackie. Okay, so the guy that lived there before her died in the room that was my room.
Whoa.
Oh,
Not that that's necessarily relevant, but he died in the house. So Rhonda's room was connected to my room and faced the street, which faced the fire department. And she worked third shift at Palmer's chocolate factory. So when she would go to work, I would be awake in the middle of the night as like a 3-4-year-old child who was raised by women. So I would hear these voices in her room at night when she was at work. And I would report to her in the mornings. I'm like, these guys are playing poker in your room like every night. And she's just baffled that I even know what poker is. I didn't. I'm just, where'd I hear this word? So this happened every night. And then I always remembered this happening. When I was like 15, 16, my aunt who lived across the street next to the fire department was telling us a story about how the guy who lived there before us would have the fire department. They would come up, put a ladder up to the window, and they would all go up and play poker in that room.
Well,
So kind of, I don't know. It's kind of weird.
Yeah.
I like it.
yeah.
I
it
have
is.
something very similar happen. And you can collaborate this story.
I like how they put a ladder and crawled up the ladder.
Right. Well,
Yeah.
like, go through the
Yeah,
freaking
yeah.
door.
Yeah.
Go through the door.
Nah, we got a ladder.
It's kind of like being like a race car driver. Like you don't use the door, you go
Yeah.
through the window.
Yeah.
That's cool though. Could
Yeah.
be a residual thing too.
Mhm.
Yeah,
The
so-
energy is stored there and just replaying.
yeah.
Yeah, I
when-
like that.
When me and Heidi first started dating,
You
there was
used
a
to get a ladder.
there was a section of our time where I would go to their house and spend the night, or I lived there for a little bit. And her mom's house in Shenandoah is a pretty large house.
It
Like,
used to be a
well,
boarding house.
Is it the biggest
Oh.
house on the biggest hill?
No.
well, I didn't know it was a boarding house. It just it has it's laid out to have a lot of rooms.
Mhm.
And where Heidi's room was, I would go in, we'd sleep on the most uncomfortable futon of all. I don't know how she fucking lived her whole life on this futon.
Well, I slept on a futon for years. Now I got that. I go, how did I do that?
Yeah.
Dude,
same.
I would
same.
wake up and feel like I had grill marks on me.
You're
Like,
like used to
geez.
it, I think. I don't know.
I just said, oh, geez. But some
Yeah.
people really like futons. I don't know why
Oh,
either.
I fell asleep on the futon up in our guest like in my room one time, and I woke up. It's like I can't
Yeah.
move. Yeah. But I remember sleeping, and the next morning I woke up and she goes, "How'd you sleep?" I said, "Mine is this mattress. It was awful." She goes, "What do you mean?" I'm like, "Don't think I'm weird, but like all night long I heard people talking." And she's like, "What do you mean?" I'm like, "I heard old ladies just
Mhm.
like they wouldn't shut the fuck up all night." And then I was getting a shower and I felt like people were walking by the bathroom constantly, and I'm like, "What the fuck is going on?" So we go down and I'm like, "Hey, I'm not trying to like be weird or anything, but like I feel like there was people talking all night. Like, did someone leave a TV on?" And I'm like, "No." And then they end up like telling me that this house used to be like a boarding house and like
Yeah.
for
Like old ladies.
for the old ladies. Like it
Yeah.
was like an
I used to
elderly
hear
lady
people
house.
too.
Wow.
Like there would be no one
Oh,
downstairs.
that's
I would hear
awesome.
people talking downstairs and stuff.
Wow.
Dude, it was as loud as like it literally. I thought her brother left on like Nick at Night in the room. 'Cause
My
it-
brother used to be creepy. He used to like sleepwalk kind of. Like he came in my room once and just like was just like standing there. Like I was like, "What are you doing? Go away."
it sounded
Aw.
like he left his
Scary.
TV on
Like,
and
it
had
was,
it full blast playing
Scary,
the
yeah.
Golden
Yeah.
Girls.
Wow. I'd be like, shut the fuck
Yeah.
up.
I love
Yeah.
the Golden Girls.
Me too.
It was just like listening to old ladies banter all night.
Like old
Yeah.
people,
Oh.
because I heard like an old like it was like it sounded like a man and a woman once.
I wonder if they ever sleep.
I don't know, but
I don't know.
like the first couple weeks there, I was like I couldn't get any sleep. That's all I heard.
Did you hear any
Wow.
good
So it's, like,
combos?
consistent.
No, like it's weird. Like I would hear them, but I couldn't make out what they were saying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was weird. And then I came down the next day. I was like, "Did someone leave their TV on?" Like kind of like a bunch of people were talking. Like I felt like I was sleeping in a boarding house, and everyone's like, "Funny you should say that. Used to be a boarding house." And I was like, "Yeah, I'm not fucking living here much longer."
Well, your
You're
parents'
done.
house isn't any better.
Yeah, my parents is haunted, but like at least I could sleep at night.
So how does like an experience like that sway your belief of like the supernatural?
I'm very torn. Like I'm very confused on like what do I believe and what don't I believe, because obviously like the logical and like don't believe anything side wants to kick in, but then like I've had experiences that I can't explain. So I'm very open. Like I said, I'm very open minded to it.
Right. Yeah, I'm kind of the same way.
Yeah.
I believe in pretty much everything. Anything.
Like I'm very willing
I don't-
to be open.
I don't like not believe in
I believe
Mhm.
everything is possible.
Yeah, I do
everything.
too.
Anything is possible. Just believe.
Like I'm a weirdo who like fully believes in parallel universes, multi-world theories, and so I'll take whatever.
Yeah.
But healthy
Do you have-
skepticism.
Do you have a story tonight, Heidi?
Oh, I know.
Tell me one.
Oh my.
Well, your parents' house is really crazy.
Oh, yeah,
really
you-
haunted.
You never
So-
told a parent story. I told one kind of for you last time.
Which one?
I'm not gonna tell you which one I told. I'm gonna see which one you tell, and then you can go back. People can go back and check to see if I made it up or not.
I don't remember what you said. So,
You weren't on the show when I said it.
but I listened to the show.
Not the Patreon.
You're right. I didn't.
But you're wrong.
I ain't paying for it. So
My own wife won't even put
the
$5 in.
parents.
Into the Patreon. Yeah.
Let's not. So there's a creepy light in the basement at his parents' house that will just turn on.
Oh.
It's not a switch. It's like a plug, right? Like
I'm not even
it
gonna look at
has
her
to
'cause
be
I was-
like plugged in, and it'll just turn on.
Mm.
Like no one will be home, and we'll come home, and like you could see the light because like the basement has like a window, and it's just on. And the dogs won't go in the basement. Like lady follows me everywhere.
She
Yeah.
does.
She would not go in the basement. She stood at the top of the stairs and cried. And
Loudly.
I only went down there for
Aw.
like 2 seconds because it creeps me out. And like his dad was like, "Oh, bring me whatever the fuck it was." And I was like, do I have to? And I like threw it at him and I ran back upstairs. And when I was home alone, I would lock myself in the room because it was real creepy. And I just felt like there was always somebody around. And the one time we had, so our dresser has like handles like that move. And they live right on like 54. So like trucks go by all the time. It's not like it's through Monte City.
Oh, like the main street?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, like
Oh.
trucks go by, it's loud, whatever. But I was home alone and literally just one drawer, the handles on the one drawer started shaking for 5 minutes straight.
Mm.
That's a long
None of the
time.
other drawers, just those two handles for 5 minutes straight. And nothing was happening outside. It was so quiet. It was really creepy.
That is creepy.
And then I was in the shower once and he used to be able to like pick the lock and open the door. Never any privacy, ever. And
Well, we also had an agreement in the house that you don't lock the door because there were so many people living in it. So if you were getting a shower, you left the door open so someone can use the bathroom.
yeah, well, I locked the door.
Yeah.
And I swear someone opened the door, came in, shut the door, and I thought it was him. And I opened the curtain and there was nobody there.
Oh, that is really scary. Like
Creepy.
creepy. Yeah, because that's like a private area.
I
you
still
know?
locked myself in the room.
What about the
People
time
get
you
home.
went to go start the shower? When you went to go start the water and something happened.
Hmm.
I don't remember.
Didn't you tell me a story where you went to go start the water and the water turned on before you put your hand to it? Like the knob turned.
Wow, that's really
I don't
that's
remember
really
that.
nuts.
I thought you remember telling me that the one time. Like she goes, I thought I was turning the water on, but I realized my hand wasn't on it and it was already the water was running.
Maybe. I don't remember. There's a lot of stuff that happened there.
Hmm.
I literally used to hide. Like I would just not come out of the room when no one was home. I would wait for people to come home. And if I had to go to the bathroom, I would like open the door, like, okay, lady, let's go. And I would like run because it was like a straight shot.
Hmm.
Just run. And then I'd run back. It
Aw,
was creepy.
yeah, that does sound tough.
We should bring the AMF reader to my parents'
You
house.
should take it in the basement.
Take it in the
None of the dogs will go down there.
There must
Like their old dog, she wouldn't go down there. And the dog they have now won't go down there.
Mm.
there must have been something really bad in that basement
Yeah.
then.
I don't know if it's bad or just have high energy because
Mhm.
the guy who lived there, I don't think anything terrible was about him, but like that was his work spot. Like that's where he worked on everything.
Oh, okay, maybe then.
And
Like,
then that just happened here.
the-
I've never felt anything here before. Like once in a while, I get like a weird vibe. But that night, I thought you came upstairs, and you thought I came downstairs, and none of us went anywhere.
No one was on any stairs.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Nobody.
That was during one of the podcasts.
Yeah,
Yeah, I remember
yeah.
that.
yeah.
It was creepy because I was like, "What?" I thought you went to the bathroom. And you're like, "Did you just come down here?" No.
Yeah, so I could have sworn I heard someone walking around. But,
Not me.
Is that it? There you
I
got
don't know.
that.
There's probably more.
Well,
Oh no, there
we
was
have
a
more
ghost cat
episodes.
in my mom's house.
Oh.
There was a what?
Like a ghost cat.
Oh, a ghost. I thought
Yeah.
you said gross cat. I was like,
No.
I never
Get
ever,
rid of it.
I never thought like I would have like a ghost animal. Like I did. I always thought like that's bullshit. That's not real.
Mm.
I don't know like if it was one of those situations where I was hypersensitive because of the time, or if it was something like a goodbye or something because I've never experienced it ever again. But when we used to have our living room set up, I would sit in what is the brown chair that faced towards the TV, and that was kind of like my spot. I would fall asleep in it. That was like my chair. And Cujo would come up, and he would like put his head on the armrest because he was big enough to do so. Like he didn't have to jump up on there, and I would just pet him. And he passed away.
Oh.
And a couple weeks, like I was sitting there, and all of a sudden, like my arm nudged, and I just started like I wanted to go pet because it was like second nature. And like in the corner of my eye, I felt like he was there, and then I was like, wait, he's not around anymore. And then I looked, and then lady was sitting there just staring at me like, and I was like, all right, this is a thing. You know what I mean? Like, so that was like a weird experience in this house. That was the only like, creepy thing I ever had, but it's not like creepy. I never felt scared.
Yeah.
Like in my parents' house, I never felt like like I was in danger or I was threatened.
Just look creepy.
It just felt like you weren't alone.
Wow.
Like you were sharing a space
Yeah.
with somebody. Yeah.
Hmm.
So it never bothered me. Do
Huh.
you have a story, Nikolai?
Ghost.
I
cat.
mean, I was gonna read from the book, but I feel like we're just sharing stories.
You can read from the book or you can
No,
share.
I mean, I have one that
Oh.
happened a long time ago.
Spooky.
So I told the thing before about how I saw the kid at the top of the steps. And the only reason I thought about this is because today's my dad's birthday. This was a long time ago.
Happy birthday, Nikolai.
I was gonna say
Yeah.
happy,
Happy birthday.
Tell him to pay $5 so we can hear that. Happy birthday.
We got one of those like silver shiny balloons that have the helium in it. And we left it go because I mean it was a birthday and then it ended. So we didn't.
And you waited
we
how long to see it would come down from the
right. I mean,
warehouse
we didn't
ceiling?
pop any of them. No, not in the warehouse. It was in our
It's an office joke.
Oh.
because I would have gotten that. And we noticed it started moving. Like obviously, like yeah, you could blame it on wind or whatever,
Mhm.
like airflow through the house.
Mhm.
Sure, not like this. It bobbed up the stairs,
Yeah.
went into my brother's room, stayed there for a little, and then bobbed its way back down the steps.
Oh.
Oh yeah.
And I don't know. It's just like it's one thing to have wind like move through the house or whatever, but the fact that it bobbed its way up the stairs is just weird
Yeah.
to me.
I feel like up is one thing, but down is that's odd.
right.
Very odd.
Like I don't know. It was just I can even stand kind of down just because
Mm.
it's losing the
Mhm.
helium, but it was just weird that it like it didn't like stick to the ceiling and
It stayed perfectly neutral.
yeah,
Yeah.
it like stayed at that level and just went and it was like oh
Hmm.
this is okay. I don't know. It's not like you were saying like I didn't feel
Yeah.
threatened by it or anything, but it was like okay something might be here.
Like if a kid was walking, it was tied
Yeah.
to his wrist or something.
Right.
Or if he was holding it.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's weird.
And that's at your house, your parents' house?
Yeah, that was it.
Interesting. What now you said you may be possibly getting a new location, right?
Yes.
Anything weird about that place? You ever heard anything yet?
I mean, I haven't spent the night there because it's under
Ooh.
renovation.
But it's
But
haunted.
the
Sleepover.
back is like an old beat up warehouse that I want. Like even the basement down there, it looks like you could shoot like an old like Frankenstein horror movie or something.
Oh wow.
So it's possible.
Spend the night,
Cool.
see if you come across anything
Yeah.
spooky, and then we'll come in with our elaborate, high tech, state of the art ghost equipment and explore this shit.
I love exploring stuff.
We should do my parents' house sometime.
Yes.
Pretty cool.
I would like to
Like a
experiment.
sleepover at my parents' house. We'll all crash in the living room, and Jack
Mm.
still fuck with everybody. Fucking asshole Dog. Jack's like fucks with people like he's gonna bite you,
Mhm.
but like
Like he just growls
he's just a
for no
fucking
reason.
like he's just very vocal. Like I just look at him, he'll look at me, and he'll be like, and like he'll start like hissing.
Then he
like a
starts
cat.
growling at me just because he's looking at him funny. Like, I'm like,
But the whole time he's doing his tail's wagging.
yeah.
Oh, he's just trying to talk to you guys.
Yeah,
that's all.
Yeah.
He's dumb. I think is what it is.
I think
No,
he's
I'm
just
sure he's
pretends to
not.
be dumb.
Dude, one time I threw a toy and pretended to throw it and did the whole trick where I threw it behind my back. And he looked at the fire extinguisher on the wall for 15 minutes, like
Yeah.
waiting for it to fall down.
You mean the fire
The
alarm?
the fire alarm, not
Aw.
extinguisher. Who's the dumb one now? Yeah.
So while we're on this, I saw this weird video today about this guy who would hand his dog invisible treats, and it like tried to grab it and would look down at the ground like it missed it, and then
Oh.
by the third one, he came and realized there was nothing in his hand, so I started growling at him like, "What the fuck you doing to me?" Like,
Cujo would have pissed right in front of him.
It would have been a dick.
Yeah.
but it was like a little corgi. So I was-
Oh, I have a corgi. She's
Andy, what
wild.
story do you got tonight?
I have none.
You got none? Well,
I mean, I have the personal ones.
no personal.
No. That's
Do you
Not even
believe-
one you've heard of it, like in an area, or like you've read like one from a podcast or anything you heard, like a weird story.
not offhand.
Do you
I-
believe in ghosts?
I don't know. Some like it depends on the thing.
Our
I would
goal,
like to. I don't say. I wouldn't walk in like they do on Ghost Adventure. Like everything's real. It's on it.
yeah.
I would take it in first and see all the evidence. And
I
You
hope
don't-
we get
you
to the
don't
point where we
not
get big
believe.
enough that we get invited to places and we can just like fully go in and just see what we experience and
yeah.
see if we go running out.
Because I know
like
different
fucking
people experience different
Scooby Doo
things.
Mhm.
characters. Pick something from your book. Just open a random page
I was
and
gonna
see what
say
we
I
get.
have the Fresno night clause, but that might be a full episode. There's a
Yeah.
lot of stuff.
Pick
going on
something from your
Fresno.
word in Pennsylvania.
Night
I mean, I
clause.
have something
Yeah, let's read
from
it.
there. Okay.
We'll banter about that for 20 minutes.
We
and
have
then
to watch
Oh,
the.
Does Bree have an experience first?
Did you tell a story?
No, I didn't yet. I do.
Yeah, tell a story while Nikolai finds
No,
something.
we got to watch the videos of the Fresno night clause. They're real short.
Oh, okay.
It's not like super long, but since we're talking about hotels, so I've been to like 9 or 10 different countries so far. One of them was London, and this involves me and my friend Lisa. She watches both of the podcasts actually.
Cool.
We stayed
Lisa,
at
check out this episode for $5.
She's not gonna see that.
You're
She-
lost, Lisa.
So we stayed at London. This is our very first trip that we went overseas, actually with our past guest, John. He took all of us overseas.
What would you say? He sounds like from the TV show, Mr. Sweeney. John?
No, Mr. Feeney.
Mr. Feeney. Yeah.
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 Yeah, Mr. Feeney.
Yeah, he probably could actually. So this was in London, and it was like one of our first nights there, and both of us like stayed in different hotel rooms, of course, the same hotel. We both went to sleep, and we both had sleep paralysis like the same night, and like a weird dream before the sleep paralysis. And then we tried calling each other, and we really like couldn't, like, because it was really hard to move because of sleep paralysis. And it was just like a really weird experience.
You're in 2 different rooms.
2 different rooms. Sleep paralysis, I would say, was probably not that far apart, like minute wise.
Like, what did you experience during the sleep paralysis?
Like, so it was like it was a really weird, like both of us had like really weird dreams. Not the same exact dream, but it was like a really weird, I would say, like not necessarily a nightmare, but like definitely creepy. And then the sleep paralysis. So when you have it, like you're awake and like you're awake, but you can't move. And
I know some people say they see stuff during sleep.
you can,
Yeah.
yeah. I like didn't like necessarily see anything, but some like weird shadows. But I definitely didn't feel right. Like
Yeah.
I had like some really weird, like creepy vibes around me.
Mm.
And I was like really, really uncomfortable. I don't get that feeling too often, but I am highly empathic. So I do think like something like weird probably happened there because we both had the sleep paralysis. And Lisa has a lot of different like she's highly empathic too, and she has like a lot of different experiences as well. So the fact that we both had that sleep paralysis, a weird dream, not too far apart from each other in the same hotel, I just think something like probably weird happened in that hotel. Now, of course, you all know London has a very like colorful history. So I'm
There's
curious.
a guy going around strangling people around that.
Yeah. So it could be anything related to that. I mean, then you had like Bloody Mary, there's like all kinds of,
The Hat
multiple
Man
words.
and the Night Hag. That's big things when you're in sleep paralysis. You see those are shadow people.
Yeah. A lot of times
a-
they try to use sleep paralysis to discredit people's paranormal experiences.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, that I don't know, but I like I was saying like a few minutes ago, I did see like a lot of weird shadows,
Yeah.
but I didn't really necessarily know what they were, so
Yeah.
I'm not quite sure. But it was like very unsettling, I would say, very, very unsettling. And then I didn't really do too well like sleeping for the rest of the night. It was very uncomfortable, so something must have been like
yeah.
off with that particular hotel.
Yeah.
She had the same experience too. Like didn't really.
What was the
feel
name of the
right.
hotel?
I don't remember the name of the hotel. I just remember like what it looks like, but I took a lot of pictures and I saved all my stubs. I'll go through it and find it and let everybody know next
Maybe
time.
we'll say it and you're like, holy fuck, you stayed in the most haunted
Yeah.
hotel in that
Mhm.
town.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's possible. I don't know,
Like
but
we'll research it and see what comes up.
Yeah.
yeah, we could. It was just so bizarre. It was a very weird series, like really uncomfortable. I wouldn't want to experience something like that again.
Yeah.
And it's like when you get into sleep paralysis, I don't know if anybody else has ever experienced that
Mm-mm.
before. It's really scary, unsettling, and it takes a while for your body to catch up with your minds. Like it wasn't fun. It took us both a while to actually like get our movements back and to catch up with our minds.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
No,
it's really
I know-
crazy.
I know we
I've
told
Yeah.
experienced it.
I know we talked about on the show, Alex, about your grandmother's struggles right now with her like dementia.
Sure.
I have a theory when it comes to like not so much like mental disabilities, but like even with like schizophrenia and stuff. Like I have a feeling or a theory that like I don't know if they're schizophrenic or they're just at a point where they see stuff that we're not supposed to be seeing. Like maybe they're experiencing and seeing things. Like that's just a theory to me. Like I'm not saying that's what it could be.
I have a very similar theory. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think like with the dementia, like I'm not saying I'm not saying that's the same thing, but I think there can be a possibility where at some points in time when they're remembering certain things, obviously they could be experiencing and seeing things that we don't experience or we're not seeing at the point in time too. Have you ever
It's like time travel.
yeah, has there been any moments where it was kind of like eerie like with her like where she like said something was there and it wasn't?
Not so much that things are there that aren't, but like earlier today, she said, "I'm going to 11th grade, but I think I'm going to quit school and just start working."
Wow.
Which is actually what she did when she was younger.
Mm.
But today she was in that moment. She thought she was in school, that we're in the summer. I don't know how she thought that, but she thought she was going to the 11th grade and she wanted to quit and start working. And stuff like that happens a lot. Yeah.
Like she wakes up like here. This is where I get confused. Like where I'm like, man, I would love to like see what they see. Like when she's in that mind state, do you think she sees everything for what that time frame was?
Yeah. Well, like architecture and shit.
Anything like because she like because if you woke up tomorrow, right, and your mind thought that you were waking up for 11th grade and you haven't been going to 11th grade in 30 years, you would have to everything around you would have to make sense for you to believe or to think that was the case. Am I right to think that? Like,
I don't know.
If I woke up in the same bedroom as I woke up every single day, but then my mind's like, oh, you're going to 11th grade today.
Well,
I feel like a part of your mind would be like, no, that doesn't make sense.
I think she's spatially aware because every day, it used to be very like seldom, and then it got more and more, and now you cannot convince her that this is her house. She lives with her mom at 1144 North 9th Street in Reading, and you just can't convince her. She believes this, and I don't know, like, and everything's so vivid to her. But it's always like a different time period. And then I don't know if she believes it or if she's making these things up because she remembers it, but she'll be like, I gotta go. I gotta watch my sisters while my mom goes to bingo tonight. My dad's working. And I'm like, bitch, you're fucking crazy. But
like when she says she wants to leave, how do you handle that?
You have to live in that situation with her. You have to allow her to believe it's real, because when you tell her it's not, that's when she like really acts out, and she'll be like, call my mom. Like, you'll see she's alive. But what's even crazier is sometimes she'll remember that we tell her that that's not true. And she'll be like, you guys are always telling me my mom's dead. Don't tell me she's dead. I know she's not. And I'm like, well, maybe in some reality you're experiencing that, and I'm not going to tell you you're not. But yeah, no, it's really tough to deal with. But
yeah,
I always say, and I've told you this on your podcast before, I think it's a beautiful thing to be able to remember your parents who have been gone like that, like so vividly. Like, it's sad when you realize they're not there.
Yeah.
But
there's people in your family that when they pass away, you don't remember. You remember the feeling of them, and you remember the what you felt about them, but you don't remember like you don't remember what they sounded like. Like I couldn't tell you what my grandfather's voice sounded like.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it's one of the first memories that leave your mind. Like, you know what I mean? Weird. Like a voice, like
is like, we'll try to live in the fantasy. So Rhonda will go to another room and I'll call her. I'll be like, look, it's your mom. And I know that's fucked up, but
it helps her. It helps her that situation.
So it does for a minute. And then she'll be like, wait a minute. That's not my mom's voice.
Oh,
who the fuck is that? And I'm like, man, she really like it. To me, it feels like time travel.
Yeah. Like she doesn't remember current day, but she remembers everything then
vividly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had one experience where I had a family member who was in their last days, and they were in that state. And I remember this lady, like, I would sneak out of my house at like 4 years old and walk across the street to their house, and she would make me like the most fucked up meals, like, and sandwiches, like Lebanon bologna and jelly, like, and I would eat it, and like I'll eat this weird fucking shit. And she was my Aunt Margaret. That's what I referred to her as. And she lived when I lived in Shenandoah, we literally lived right across the alley from each other. And it was literally to the point where my parents were like, where the fuck's Tony? He's not in the house.
Yeah.
And then they would like freak out I'm not there, and then find me across the street at Margaret's house. And like, she's older, so she's not going to be like, hey, it's weird that your fucking 4-year-old's here. She was just like happy I was there and just hang out with me. You know what I mean? Read me the newspaper and everything. And when she was dying, her own family was there. My dad was there. My mom was there. And she couldn't tell you who anyone was. But every time we went, she remembered exactly who I was. No matter what point she was at.
Yeah.
Which was really, really like, and I would go tell people like, she's not sick. She's fine. You know what I mean? But in my brain, I couldn't comprehend it. It was a weird situation. And then when she passed away is the first time I ever actually physically seen something. So I didn't know if it was like her way of saying goodbye or nothing. It's strange though.
What did you say?
So I get, huh?
What did you see?
Like I
Was it
don't
cool?
know if it was physically her, but I think like because when she died, she lost so much weight. She was so skinny, but she had the short little Italian curly white hair. So whatever this figure was definitely feminine. And she had like something on, like a shawl with like, I called it Macho Man tassels, but it wasn't like equal in number on each side.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just a black figure at the end of my bed waving their hands like make it look like a standing snow angel. It was a black figure, like a black shadow.
So my he's kind of like a cousin, but he was raised like an older brother. And he had a girlfriend. He was maybe like 17, 18. And she was like brutally murdered.
Oh.
And I didn't know this. I would say I was maybe in the 4th grade. And I had no clue that this had happened. But like I knew he was sad. I just didn't know why. So he's in the front seat. My mom's driving. I'm directly behind her. And next to me is his girlfriend, who I was unaware that was murdered.
Yikes.
And you
I-
physically seen it? Like you remember
I
seeing her?
her. I seen her. She's like holding him from the back. And
Aw.
like even so much as to like I was able to tell him that her glasses were in the glove compartment. And like he had like broke down and was crying. He's holding the glasses, and he's like, "How did you know these were there?" I'm like, "Well, she told me." And he couldn't comprehend what I was trying to say. Is that she's sitting right next to me, and like later that night they were like, "Oh, she's dead." Like, what are you talking about? I'm like, "Oh, I guess I'm crazy."
Yeah.
She
Aw.
died earlier that morning.
Wow.
So
Wow.
I don't know.
And you visually remember that?
That's vividly. Yeah. I've had a lot of experiences like that growing up. Like I think I was very sensitive as a child.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree the same thing with me too. I had a lot of experiences. I don't visually remember them, but I like stories I was told where I was experiencing stuff. And then like my brother at young ages, he would say shit that I'm like, there's someone his age shouldn't have that much detail on certain things.
It's weird that
Yeah.
kids say things that like they
I have a
shouldn't
weird
know.
story like that too.
Yeah, I felt my
We'll have to say that for the next Patreon if you don't mind.
Oh no,
Let's,
yeah.
let's dive into your Weird in Pennsylvania book, and then we'll wrap this up.
Okay, so I'm gonna actually read this one, just because I never do. So we're gonna see how this goes. Headless Horrors at Allison's Grave, and I always try to pick one that is close-ish that we could go maybe.
Everyone's telling us we have to go to
Well-
Peddler's grave.
I don't know what that is.
It's one right outside of Money City,
Oh, okay.
where a peddler was killed, and then people go and leave the exact cent that he was murdered for what he was robbed or something.
Oh,
Huh.
It's probably in your book.
Probably.
Yeah. I'll look
I
it up.
haven't gotten to him yet. About 80 miles north of the state capital of Harrisburg, up in Lycoming County, just south of the Susquehanna River, lies a pleasant biking and hiking trail in the Williams.
You're good. Just keep
Oh,
reading.
okay. I saw a shadow and I'm like, what the hell's going on?
It's a spooky ghost.
Yeah. Trail in the Williamsport Municipal Water Authority's Washshed area. On the outskirts of South Williamsport, in something a lot less pleasant, the cursed grave of the headless heroine named Allison. The legend has it that Allison was a nurse or driver during World War I, When her tour of duty ended on the continent, she boarded an airplane to England, from which she was going to get a ship to go home. However, her plane was shot down by enemy fire when it was leaving the war zone. In the search for survivors, her disfigured body was recovered, but her head was never found. The U.S. government transported her home, what was left of her, where she was buried in the family's plot in Mosquito Valley Road. Precisely what curse the grave carries is open to dispute. Perhaps Allison. I'm gonna hold this up a little higher because it's getting hard to read as I'm like
Lower.
farther down the page. All right. Perhaps Allison's who life was cut short on the brink of her return to her loved ones simply cannot rest, or maybe she just misses her head.
I miss my head.
Some believe if you visit the grave on midnight on Halloween.
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
That's-
it's midnight.
That's a
the-
double cliche.
Yeah,
Yeah.
That's double super.
that's the MO right there.
Her truncated body can be seen rising up and moving about. Others say that if you visit the graveyard after dark on any night of the year and see a shadow running through the woods, some great evil will befall on you before you cross the stone bridge leading away from the cemetery. Whichever tale you choose, it's a place the locals like to drive to for a special late night thrill. And then it says about the next little caption on it. It says, even the church is scared. Everyone around here believes in the story of Allison's grave. If you see a shadow moving through the graveyard at night, you'll have an accident of some kind. The lucky ones have a minor scraped in their car right away. The unlucky ones have to wait and wait and wait until misfortune strikes. A while back, a group of people went there in a couple of cars, including a local pastor. Sure enough, they saw the shadow. It scared them a lot, so they got out in a hurry. The first car made it across the stone bridge fine. The second car had a mysterious blowout. They had to get out in the dark and put on the spare. It scared the bejeebers out of them.
The bejeeber.
Yeah, that's part of
Mysterious.
why I wanted to read that one, just because I wanted to say bejeebers.
Mysterious blow.
Dude, here's the thing. Like when we get
That's it.
when-
That's
Yeah,
not
that's it.
mysterious.
Yeah, bejeebers. So
when
we're
we
gonna.
get back to recording, like, and we can, like, in the summertime, we can go
Bejeebers.
travel and stuff. Like, we can go to Clinton Road, we can go to these places, and I have equipment now that we can take. Like, I have a GoPro camera and I have a portable mixing board. Like, we can go
Yeah.
to these places and just park and
We take pictures with the phone.
Have
too,
a
just,
mysterious blowout.
record a
Yeah.
podcast.
Bejeebus scared out of her.
Record
Well,
the podcast. Like, hey, we're recording right now, right outside the cemetery where she's supposedly buried.
That's kind of why I go through this and like pick ones that are kind of local to us, because when that stuff is available,
Like, we
for us
could
to
do a
go,
podcast at Peddler's Grave this
Yeah.
summer. If we
What
really
year
Yeah, we
was that?
should.
World War One.
Okay, so my question is, if she was beheaded, how did they know who she was?
Very good question. Very good
This is true. They
question.
didn't have dental records.
Them titties.
Yeah.
That's how
See,
we tied in.
My favorite
Like
part
I always
about
wonder
that.
that when they
Yeah.
do
Maybe
stuff
the head
like
was
that.
close by.
Like how did
Give
they
me that.
know?
Yeah.
Didn't find it.
I like how the unfortunate ones have to wait and wait and wait.
Yeah.
Wait and wait.
Really?
And wait.
That's the horror.
Or you
is
could
the
just
waiting.
leave.
20 years
Mhm.
I got in a car accident. It must have been that time I saw the shadow in the woods.
And why was the blowout so mysterious?
Yeah.
Like people get flat tires all the time.
They do. And it could have something to do with that time period as well. But then the superstitious person in me is like, ooh, I don't want to have anything evil happen to me. I might have to look from a distance because I am highly
It's kind of
superstitious.
like-
It's horrible.
Like I want to check it out, but also I don't want to.
Punxsutawney Phil, though. It's like you see the shadow. It's like, oh shit, we got to get out of here.
Yes.
Go.
And it's always October 31st.
Yeah. But
Always.
But isn't that November 1st then? So that's not what's scary about November
Yeah.
1st. Nothing.
Yeah.
Wait, you have to
it's
go,
when the castle rises.
you have to go to
The 30th.
the 30th.
Oh,
Yeah.
Well,
Well, I actually have.
But that's
something.
not how they say. They always say Halloween night.
Right.
Which
Yes.
would be November 1st.
technically.
And the veil is the thinnest then. So
Yeah.
that's why everything comes through.
Oh, where the fuck is
Because
that?
everything we Peter
I ain't
is
trying
like
to
the
get
castle.
possessed.
No, I'm not trying to
Hey,
either. but I do want to see things.
That's powers
Yeah.
too. That counts.
So if you go
You have powers?
to the crash site, do you see her head?
Yeah.
But they never found her head, so it never got shipped home.
No, that's what I mean. Like if you go to the crash site,
She's a
will you
headless
see her
woman.
head? And then if you come here, you see her body.
Yeah. There you go.
Ah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Question.
yeah.
Good question.
But yeah.
Help reconnect
So is
them.
her body headless? Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
The body's headless. That's what I'm saying. Maybe the spirit of the head is
Yeah,
wherever.
over there.
I'll find this
Maybe
poor girl
her
head.
body is haunting us here,
Mhm.
and the head's haunting them over there.
We need to
Yes.
reconnect them.
Yes.
We have technology for this now.
Yes.
Zoom chat. I found your body. I found your head.
So the Beer You Are podcast guys are from New Jersey,
Mhm.
and they have experienced Clinton Road.
Oh.
So
Oh.
they told us. I got a text message.
Just
Sorry,
now?
no, a while ago.
Oh.
Like after the episode aired. So sorry, dude, we didn't get back to you early about our Clinton Road story. But we I'm listening to your episode now, and Steve and I will be glad to tell you about our times at Clinton Road. As you mentioned, you're looking to go out one day. You'd have to go out at night because it's just a road in the woods, but I'll definitely meet you somewhere. Then he said, I also want to say that I'm not into believing supernatural shit and weird things, but I'm going to tell you this, that Steve and I will agree that place is fucked. If you drive that road at night, something will definitely happen. 10 miles from, it's a 10-mile road from end to end, just another heads up. It's definitely something very wrong with that place and definitely worth checking out. The shortened version of our story is Clinton Road has offshoot roads that you don't know where they lead. Now with Google Maps, I guess you can, but back in 2003, for the first time, Steve and I veered off to an unmarked road and went uphill from the main road of Clinton Road. And about halfway up the road, we came into the end to find a few vehicles pulled off into a circle with their lights on a mix of cars and pickup trucks.
In a circle.
We backed up as soon as we saw them, and maybe within 100 feet of them, so we couldn't make out people or anything. But one of the vehicles chased us out, no joke, for miles, and then all of a sudden it just disappeared. That is my memory of what happened, and Steve and I want to remember this was 8 years. We want us to also tell you that this happened 8 years ago. It's just some sketchy shit out there going on, no doubt.
How about
Oh
that?
wow.
So it's a little Clinton Road that
Yeah.
we put here in the
First-hand
bonus.
account.
Yeah.
I don't like that it's 10 miles. It's 10 miles long.
Oh, put that in
what
perspective.
if we break down? I ain't
Yeah,
trying to walk
if-
10 miles
if
to
you've
get
ever
somewhere.
drove,
Yeah, but we got Uber now.
yeah.
Yes, Uber, Lyft.
If you ever drove from
What if they won't
Pottsville-
come to that road?
Oh, they will.
'cause
They
it's Clinton
will.
Road.
They'll just charge us extra.
Yeah.
10 miles sounds a little far, but like if you ever went to the Gears Dairy and you drove from Pottsville, that was exactly 8 miles.
Hmm.
So 2 more miles ain't 4.
Yeah.
It does sound like 4, but
walk it?
yeah. No, to walk, yeah, that would suck.
Yeah, I'm
To
saying.
walk
Yeah.
1 mile sucks, but like
We
to
could run.
drive ain't too bad.
It's cool.
Did you say run?
Yeah, we'll
Shut
run
the
it.
fuck
We'll
up,
run.
Nikolai. I ain't
I'm
running
walking.
anywhere.
What was
Bro, I'm
his name?
sleeping in the
When-
I
car.
ain't running anywhere.
The Ghost Hillbilly.
I walk.
Yeah, Josephus, whatever his name was.
I don't
I
remember.
forget his name.
Yeah. But that'll
Jazz
do it
man.
for the Patreon episode 3. I know we got all of our plugs out, but do you have anything you want to plug for the 6 people on Patreon that launched this?
Are they watching now?
I'm good, man. Just watch IWEP, baby.
Well,
There we go.
we did
Yeah.
update our Linktree accounts. So not only is our Linktree updated with all of Project Humanoid on every Linktree, but I also added High Tension's links. And then if you go to High Tension, you will find everything that Alex does as well as his personal account, as long as they're on his Linktree account.
There we go.
Yeah.
All right, baby. Thank you.
It's very easy to link a Linktree because then I'm
You link a Linktree?
banking on you to have all your links that people can go check out.
I do have an intricate web of link trees.
Yeah. So yeah, you can check out the links for everything that Alex does, and that's on all of our podcast stuff. So we're gonna take some photos. We're gonna get the fuck out of here. It's 12 o'clock at night.
Some ghost photos.
The veil is very thin, and these guys got to drive home. We hope none of them
Yeah.
become ghost stories
Come
themselves.
across the headless.
And we'll
What's
see
it?
you guys.
Headless heroin.
Yeah, Allison.
I feel like it'd be really hard for you to become headless in a car accident because it's like you're shorter on your seat.
Can I at least be nearly?
Yeah, yeah.
Like
It
maybe
might be
just like
easier
scalped.
for. It might
like
be
scalped.
but-
easier.
I want to be nearly headless Nick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to be the real one.
Like you just get
No, it's
Nearly
a Harry
head-
Potter reference.
Oh,
your
Yeah.
head just
Because the
like-
one ghost he runs around, he's like, "Why do they call you nearly headless?" And he flops his head to the side and you see all the guts inside.
Oh
He's
god.
like,
Yeah.
if you were a ghost, where would you haunt? We'll end with that.
If you get to
Where
pick,
would I haunt?
I don't think you. I don't know. Do you get to pick?
In this scenario, you do.
but forever.
You're a super ghost.
A cool castle in Ireland.
That you've never been to.
I have actually been to a castle in Ireland, several.
You would be such a confusing ghost because they would try to find your origin story and they're like, it's just some girl from fucking Palo Alto that was on vacation here one time and she just hangs out.
I feel like I
I'm
wouldn't want to
actually
haunt
Irish,
home.
by the way. That's why.
Yeah, I mean, so am I, but to pick a place like was like they'd be like, is it the lady who lived here with the pink hair?
I'm Irish. I love Ireland.
I don't think I'd want to hunt like home. I would be sad.
Yeah, I
'Cause
would
you
be
see your
sad
family
too.
all the time. Like, I'd be
Yeah.
sad.
You would get this fucked up backstory that's not even close to your ghost story.
God,
They'd
I'm
be like,
mysterious.
she was murdered in 1875, and here you're just like, no, I died like 3 minutes ago. I'm just here now.
I just
Do you want me to
winked
pick
and
a
shut
mall?
up.
Yeah.
Because I like the shop.
Schuylkill Mall.
I would probably haunt the Schuylkill Mall. That's now a factory.
Yeah.
Oh, not
A
anymore.
warehouse.
Now empty factory.
That empty warehouse.
Dude, there's a guy who died in a bathroom who's gonna haunt that
Wait,
now
He
factory.
probably is. That's probably why nobody bought it yet.
Well, when they tear down that warehouse and build something else next time, that will be on.
Yeah,
Because that warehouse ain't gonna make it.
you don't think so?
That's the curse.
I'm gonna hunt
Tear down
Hawaii.
the mall. Warehouse. will never
Oh,
make it.
there
Go
you
to
go.
Hawaii.
You want to haunt something in Hawaii
I'm just gonna go to Hawaii.
Yeah,
So
what-
as a
see-
ghost?
well, what does it matter?
You'd be another fucking confusing ghost
I mean,
story.
there we go.
I can't feel the warmth.
I mean,
How do you know though? You might be able to.
the only other one that makes sense is Rehoboth Beach because I vacationed there several times a year as a kid.
Oh, so did we. Didn't know? Did you know the Rehoboth Beach is a gay beach?
Yeah.
Yeah, we didn't.
I
And,
found that out.
and all of my uncles got hit on the way to the beach and didn't know what to do about it.
I got hit on pretty hard at a gay bar there. Didn't know it was a gay bar. Had no clue.
Dude, we were walking to the beach. I just remember like all the ladies walked together, and then like me, my cousin Jimmy, and all the young cousins with my uncle Steve, Uncle Frank, who were both like brick shit houses, and my dad and Uncle Jody. And we're walking. And this guy's like, my uncle Steve was wearing an NBC Sports hoodie, like a shirt, like
Yeah.
a tank top, and he was like Italian dude, he's stocky, and the guy just goes, and I'm doing this voice not to be offensive. I'm just doing the voice to help remember it. He goes, "Hey, NBC Sports," right? And my uncle Steve was like, "Thank you," and then we
big fan.
and then
He
we
would
kept
do that.
walking.
He would say thank
And
you.
we keep walking, and we get to the beach, and they're just like guys and girls just kissing. And I remember once again, this is early *90s. This is not something that people from Schuylkill County experience.
No, not at all.
So I remember my one uncle looked at the other and goes, "Think we're at a gay beach." And then my other uncle, I think my dad or someone looked at it and goes, "Everyone's very nice here."
I feel like your dad would say that. They're very nice.
well, we made it. We got to stay for at least an hour.
Yeah.
We drove all this way.
Oh, we rented a house and everything. We were there for the
We're
week.
Stuck here.
Yeah, we were there. Where would you hunt, Nikolai?
Well, now that we're talking about vacations and stuff, I had the perfect last night
You guys
in
are
Germany.
fucking asshole
I
ghosts.
sat on the wall of a castle, drinking beer, watching their bonfires.
That's what you're gonna do for the
I
rest of
would,
eternity.
yes,
Another castle.
sit on the
though.
edge of the
See?
castle.
I feel like a
Yeah.
castle would be a cool place to haunt though.
Yes.
No, I don't want to haunt it. I just want to sit on the wall
Yeah.
Just forever.
forever.
Sit.
Yeah, it was a nice view. You see the fires all in the distance and stuff because they do these big fire festivals. But they're not like little dinky fire like we got at a block party. It's like a massive fire.
We
Yeah.
can all go to the
Yeah.
same castle, but I'm not sitting on the wall forever.
Oh, I like the wall.
Andy, where would you
Hanging out
hunt?
on a castle.
We'll just go walk.
I don't know. I wouldn't
Yeah.
want to haunt my apartment.
You
If
hang out
that's
with
the
your
story, I wouldn't
cat.
go to somewhere that I've never been. Because why?
Why not?
Dracula's
Dead.
castle.
Like somewhere I
Yes.
liked, like if there was like a local, like
Like the-
BCW Arena, if there was like a local one. that'd be
Or
kinda
like
cool.
the Hamburg Fieldhouse?
Yeah,
Or just
something
go
like
haunt
that.
Elvira. Just go hang out at her
Yeah,
house.
yeah.
Let's look at those movies all day.
Yeah. Or like a comic book store, somewhere I'd like to be. You
Yeah.
know?
Alex, where would you like to hunt?
I don't know. When you first asked the question, my mind went really pervy, like a women's locker room or something. I'm like, that's not me. But I
don't
also
want to
would
I don't
love
want
to-
another wrestling promotion
Yeah.
getting canceled that I have money invested in.
Alexa Bliss's house.
Well,
Alexa
they're
Bliss's
above a
house.
women's locker room, not a children's locker room.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh,
Adult women.
I'd love to live in Hawaii, like, but alive. And
True.
I would probably haunt like a dope ass theater, dude.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Ooh, Yeah, just
Yeah.
live in a theater and watch movies all day.
Well, I'm the shitty one. I would just haunt this house because I'm
Fucking
either this house,
asshole.
or
You would leave all the fucking cabinets open like you do now. On purpose.
I told you I do.
Yeah.
The one time I went
hate
down and
it.
opened all the cabinets in the basement.
The,
Oh,
the
boy.
original cabinets in the house are in the basement.
She went
Oh,
down thinking
okay.
her house was haunted.
I legit thought, I was like, are you kidding me?
Oh, no.
So I'm a huge practical joker. Like she'll go out to the car, like she'll go out and
Okay.
yell at me for a cabinet, and then go let the dog out, and I will get up and open the cabinet again and sit back down, and just to see if she notices, and then she'll close it, and then I'll yell at her from the living room, "You missed one," and she'll come in and stare at the cabinets that are all clearly closed, and try to figure out which one I
I
left
did this to me
open.
the other
And
day.
then she'll tap every cabinet that she clearly sees as closed. Like I mentally fuck with.
She'll get you back one day.
One day.
One day.
One day.
So I'd either
When you
haunt.
don't wake up one day.
I would either. Please, God, please do that. I would either haunt my house or I'd haunt where I work because I feel like it's a big open space and I would just have like as a practical joker I'd have a lot of fun.
Move stuff around.
Oh yeah, just pop up. Ah! I'd be like the 3 uncles from Casper.
I like that movie.
Yeah.
Me too.
Yeah.
That should be a topic for Not Cool one night. Like
Yeah.
Casper. Maybe around Halloween
ever
time we'll
seen
do
I think it was like
Yeah,
their
we could do that.
25th
Oh.
anniversary or something. That's long ago.
You never watched
Christina
Casper as a
Ricci.
kid?
I don't care for kid movies.
Oh my God, you're fucking so jaded.
I feel like
Back
it was
then.
one of those kid movies that like there's a lot of adult content.
Oh, wait,
I still watch it.
what's her name?
I
Who's
love it.
the main stepmom
Christina, oh,
with the big
Oh.
boobs?
Christina Ricci?
The
Yeah,
booby
Christina
girl.
Ricci.
No, no,
Christina
no.
Ricci's in it.
Applegate?
God,
No, I thought it was Christina
It was
Ricci.
Christina Ricci, but the
Yeah, Mom is
blonde haired
not-
lady who plays like with the big she always wears like the
Oh,
bustier
yeah,
bra.
she does.
Yeah.
I'll have to
Oh,
IM.
her name's
I don't know if
Kerrigan in
you're-
the movie.
I don't think
Even
you're
her ghost
thinking
had the
of
big boobs.
Yeah.
Nancy
Oh.
Kerrigan?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, that'll wrap it up. Truth Behind Illusion episode podcast number Patreon 3.
number.
One of those will make sense.
Watch out for the Fresno Nightcrawlers.
Yeah, we'll see you guys soon. We have some cool stuff planned for the
Ellen Perry.
future. Hopefully, we get Alex on an actual episode and have him hang out with us. Get him. Never mind.
We get rid of that
Uh,
penguin fuck.
Yeah,
His
get rid of that
Patreon,
fucking
he's not
guy.
paying.
He'll never see this. Fuck, we can turn it all down. We'll see you guys next time. We're out of here.